I'm Patricia Wu at the NASDAQ market site. The world's biggest private coal company agrees to greater disclosure of potential financial pitfalls.
I'm Remy Blair in San Francisco. An experimental heart failure drug shows promise in a mid-stage trial. And could it be a match made in heaven? OkCupid and Tinder hope to raise over $450 million before they walk down the IPO aisle.
Welcome to Small Cap Nation. I'm Patricia Wu at the NASDAQ market site in Times Square. The energy sector is a tough call for investors these days, and it gets even harder when companies don't disclose potential pitfalls. That's the case with small cap Peabody Energy. After a 2-year investigation by the New York Attorney General, the company has agreed to be more transparent to investors about financial risks it faces to its business, from changing government policies on climate change to other environmental issues. The AG said what Peabody executives talk about in private on dangers to the business must be shared with shareholders. Peabody has taken a beating on the market because of crippling debts and tough regulations on coal burning by utility companies. They've lost 90% of their value over the last year. Also, Peabody isn't the only energy company under scrutiny. ExxonMobil has been the target of a similar investigation. Another heavy hitter buys into Weight Watchers. Billionaire investor Stephen Cohen takes a 6% stake in the weight loss company. He joins media mogul Oprah, no last name needed, who holds the second largest stake in the New York company. Shares of Weight Watchers, which had been down 8% this year, surged on the news. And the diet company certainly needs the help. While the latest quarterly results topped forecasts, they were certainly nothing to celebrate. The number of active subscribers fell 13% from last year. Sales dropped 21% and profits plunged more than 40%. Weight Watchers said it now expects to make 64 cents to 74 cents a share for the year. Last year, it made $2.03 a share. A heavy discount for Square's IPO. The mobile payments leader plans on pricing its initial public offering between $11 and $13 a share. At the high end of that range, the company would be valued at about $4 billion. That's much lower than its most recent valuation of $6 billion by private investors. The pricing may reflect Wall Street's concerns about growing competition in the mobile payment space from Google's Android Pay and Apple Pay. Some investors also question whether Square CEO Jack Dorsey, who is also the CEO of Twitter, will be able to handle the demands of two growing companies. It's time to talk earnings, and here's a rundown of small cap companies that are reporting. Agios Pharma Phase 1 T metabolic treatment shows promising results. Alliance One will miss its earnings deadline because of potential accounting errors. BioCryst sees Baker Brothers take a 19.5% stake with options. Loxo Oncology says 3 responses seen in drug study. New Skin Enterprises faces skepticism on for-profit aid program in Africa. Platform Specialty Products will rebound as investors' concern over leveraged operations may be overblown. ZS Pharma primary efficacy endpoint met for hyperkalemia drug. And on a much lighter note, do you remember that space-age family, the Jetsons? Well, if you do, then SkyTran's new air taxi may look very familiar. The mass transit system features cars that magnetically move 20 to 30 feet above ground on elevated tracks. The California-based company worked on the project for 5 years. The Sky Taxis will debut on the campus of Israel Aerospace Industries in Tel Aviv, which partnered with SkyTran to develop the technology. The Sky Taxi can carry up to 4 people and go up to 60 miles per hour. I'd like a ride on one of those, and I just might get my wish. SkyTran plans to expand to other Israeli and U.S. cities by 2018. SkyTran CEO says its system is cheaper than traditional railroads and subways and uses less energy. Google chairman Eric Schmidt's venture fund Innovation Endeavors made a multi-million-dollar seed investment in SkyTran. Well, doesn't it seem like we can never get a strong enough Wi-Fi signal in our home? A new startup and potential small cap stock in the future is hoping to improve not only signal strength, but also security. Luma unveiled a new hotspot that manages multi-signal devices for when parents and kids are both on the Wi-Fi. The average household has 6 devices using wireless, plus many home products now require internet access. To compete in the residential router biz, Luma needs to take market share from the giants such as Belkin and Netgear. Officials say consumers will buy their product not only because of Wi-Fi speed, but their security features, which include stronger parental control of the web and cybersecurity measures against malware and viruses. Let's go now to the New York Stock Exchange. Alan Valdez is there. Alan, how did small caps do this third quarter?
Hey, Patricia, that's a great question. You know, with earnings season coming to an end here, we only got a few more companies to report. Basically, it's over. But, you know, when you look back at the season, we had a pretty good earnings season for small cap. Not so good for the larger international companies. If you look at the small cap stocks, they were up about 4.8% for the quarter. Those are these companies that really have sales of 50% or more domestically. Now, if you look at those companies with sales outside the United States, 50% or more, they were down 10.8%. So the big international companies, which are normally big cap stocks, got hit this quarter. Main reason, that strong dollar. I mean, the dollar's been surging all month. It was up over 2% last week. It'll probably continue to surge into 2016. So I think the place to be is right here in these New York Stock Exchange small cap companies where there's 900 of them, and you'll learn a lot about them this year on SCN.
How are we looking going into the holiday season?
Well, yeah, you know, the holiday season is here. I mean, I walked down Fifth Avenue today and I'm seeing lights are on, people are shopping, good sign for the small cap companies domestically. And you know, Friday we got that jobs number, 271,000. And more importantly, we saw the unemployment rate fall to 5%. Lowest it's been since 2008. That's a good sign, because even if people aren't making a lot of money, there's always money, especially at Christmas and holiday time, to go out and shop. So I think you'll see the small caps, especially those that deal domestically, that deal with the consumer, do pretty good this quarter. So I predict a good quarter for small cap stocks, and I think you'll see a good early 2016. Again, you got that strong dollar, who's going to keep people here. And overseas might be a little different story if you're in a small cap, but mainly that's international big companies. So I think we'll see a good holiday season here for those domestic companies. And don't forget also, wages. Wages were up pretty good, highest they've been up in about 18 months. So we saw a nice pop in wages this last quarter also. So overall, I think ending 16, going into the new year, we'll see a good quarter for small cap.
Thanks, Alan. We get more on small cap stocks and what they may indicate about the recent rally from Jane King. Jane?
The Dow Jones Industrial Average recently tipped back into the black for the first time since July, joining the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ, which all had been swooning since the August plunge, pushed down by fears about slowing growth in China. But the small cap sector, considered the real engine of a healthy economy, is off still by 8.5% from its highest closing level, and that's as gauged by the Russell 2000, which finished at a record 1296 on June 23rd. The absence of small caps from this recent rally might lead some to question the legitimacy of the climb. A strong start for the Russell 2000 today might be a good sign if the sector can maintain its momentum throughout the month. Now, beaten down biotechs also have enjoyed a rebound over the past several sessions. That's because biotechs have been part of the market's leadership since 2011, and people need to pay attention to biotech stocks like the iShares NASDAQ Biotechnology ETF for any indication that this market is stepping higher. The following chart from Yahoo Finance shows that the biotech exchange traded fund, IBB, is meeting some resistance. If biotechs and small caps can march forward, it may offer some reason to believe the move is higher for stocks, and it is the real deal. Meanwhile, U.S. small cap stocks, which have been lagging behind their large cap brethren, may be poised to take the lead if the nation's economy continues to show modest growth and the dollar maintains its ascent, according to Reuters. Omar Aguilar, a chief investment officer of equities at Charles Schwab Investment Management in San Francisco, says small caps will probably take a little bit bit of the driver's seat again, mostly due to the fact that a stronger dollar clearly benefits them and their balance sheets are pretty strong and they have a little cash on hand. Furthermore, the small caps remain somewhat low price based on the earnings they expect over the next 12 months. The Russell 2000's forward price to earnings ratio has fallen below 23, roughly where it was at the August lows. In April, it was above 26. Now, to be sure, any move up in small cap stocks may not be rocket-like, according to a reading of technical indicators that show that the index will need to overcome obstacles in the form of its September high and the 200-day moving average. Also, the same headwinds that may affect larger companies may also hurt some Russell components. One way to steer through the group and take advantage of this economy is to focus on small stocks with a regional focus. That's according to Eric Marshall, Director of Research at Hodges Capital Management in Dallas. He suggested avoiding energy companies and those with big international exposure. Marshall likes names such as U.S. Concrete and Summit Materials, which are unlikely to face competition from cheaper imports, have high barriers to entry, and could get a boost from government infrastructure projects such as the new highway bill. There are situations, he says, where you can find companies that are posting record earnings. The stocks, he says, are moving up and hitting new highs, and they're really not sensitive to what is going on in China. Reporting from the NASDAQ market site in Times Square, I'm Jane King for Small Cap Nation.
One small cap pharma company is getting a big investor boost after promising results for a new heart drug. The story from San Francisco when Small Cap Nation comes right back.
Guys, I got the jerseys. El Nino. Aquí. Spray Dan.
Oh, yeah.
Don Ovan.
Think that's me?
You guy. It's $40. Can you cover that?
I'll send it to you right now. Done.
Okay, got it. So hat trick Rick, he's the best player on our team. You get the ball, you give it to him.
Great. Rick.
On your phone, online, on the go, Wells Fargo makes it easy to get banking done.
All right, Don, you're on. Nope, just kidding.
Doug, you've been staring at that for a while, huh? Listen, TD Ameritrade has former floor traders to help walk you through that complex trade, so you'll be confident enough to do what you want. I'll pull up your number. Blammo. Let's get those guys on the horn. Ooh. Looks like it is time to upgrade your phone, Douglas.
For all the confidence you need, TD Ameritrade. You got this.
Let's go, Serena. Fight, fight. Come on, fight. Can't stop me now. Come on, Serena. Can't stop me now. You don't want me. Can't mess with me. Back to the top. Here we go. You don't want me. 4, 5, 6. Whoa, stop. Let's go back. 1, 2. Whoa, we're going to stop there. I bet we can do it even better.
It took tennis legend Serena Williams, fencing champion Tim Morehouse, and the world-famous Rockettes years to master their craft. But it took them only moments to master paying bills at Chase.com, depositing checks at Chase ATMs, and transferring funds on the mobile app. Technology designed for you, so you can easily master the way you bank.
One San Francisco-based biopharma firm is seeing a pop on Monday. Shares of CytoKinetics are posting a strong advance on high volume. What's behind the move?
Hi, Patricia. In Monday trade, the NASDAQ-listed company gained over 8%. An experimental heart failure drug being developed by CytoKinetics and Amgen showed some beneficial cardiac function effects. Now, the data from a mid-stage clinical trial was presented in the American Heart Association scientific sessions on Sunday. Amgen and CytoKinetics teamed up to develop omecamtiv mecarbil. The drug for heart failure patients met its prime pharmacokinetic objective.
Why is the recent data on CytoKinetics' experimental drug getting some hearts to pump faster?
Well, the trial of 448 patients with chronic heart failure already receiving optimal care tested a twice-a-day oral version of the drug omecamtiv mecarbil. This was against a placebo over the course of 20 weeks. After 2 weeks of treatment, a group of patients had the drug double dosed to 50 milligrams from 25 milligrams. And in clinical tests, patients who had taken the drug showed statistically significant improvement. These patients showed significant reduction in NT-proBNP, which stands for the biomarker leading to cardiac dysfunctionality. Now, it is primarily used in diagnosis, evaluation, as well as detection of the severity. The results itself showed an increase in volume and percentage of blood pumped during each cycle. This occurred while reducing the heart rate.
Amgen is a household name. What does this data mean for small cap CytoKinetics going forward?
Amgen has an exclusive license of the heart failure drug and related compounds worldwide. CytoKinetics has rights for its specified development as well as commercialization. Now, going forward, more trials are necessary to evaluate the effectiveness and safety of the drug. CytoKinetics discovered this drug and says Amgen will analyze the recent as well as previous data before proceeding to phase 3 trials that would be used for approval. South San Francisco-based CytoKinetics is traded under ticker symbol CYTK. With today's gains, the company has a market cap of approximately $450 million.
Next, we check in on how small caps are doing in Europe. Graham Brown has the latest from Paris when Small Cap Nation continues.
Good. Very good. You see something moving off the shelves, and your first thought is to investigate the company. You are type E. Yes, investment opportunities can be anywhere. Or not. But you know the difference.
E-Trade's barcode scanner. Shorten the distance between intuition and action. E-Trade. Opportunity is...
Before they sat down, one more time, just for themselves. Before the last grandchild graced the stage. Before Katie and her husband hit that rough patch. Before Kevin finally came home and the first grandchild arrived. Before the sons-in-law, daughters-in-law, and Brad's brief brush with the law. Before the second British invasion. Before Katie, Debbie, Kevin, and Brad. Before they became a family. There was a connection that started it all and made the future the wonderful thing it turned out to be. We know we're not the center of your life, but we'll do our best to help you connect to what is.
Sometimes the present looked bright, sometimes romantic. There were tears in my eyes, and tears in my eyes. And so many little things that we learned were really the biggest things. Through it all, we saved and had a retirement plan, and someone who listened and helped us along the way. Because we always knew that someday the future would be the present.
Every someday needs a plan. Talk with us about your retirement today.
Graham, what's going on in Europe today?
Well, the markets closed out variably at the end of last week on Friday. We had on the week-on-week basis the DAX, the CAC, and the AX comfortably closing up. The MIB and ABEX closing up a little, and the FTSE closed down. This morning this was reversed where everybody else went down, and the FTSE, I think driven largely by mining and banking stocks, moved upwards. Since then it's dropped back and everybody is now dropping off. We also of course have particular concerns in Germany at the moment with the Lufthansa strike and a VW board meeting in progress. So I think that's depressed the German market. On the data front, not a lot of good news. Figures from Eurostat showed that the Eurozone's resale sales fell unexpectedly through September, October. Sales in the euro area fell month on month. There are already early signs of weakness, said Jessica Hines, European economist at Capital Economics. Sales have stagnated in the last couple of months and consumer confidence has deteriorated. This suggests that the overall household spending is really losing momentum with the confidence. And the latest market Eurozone Retail Purchasing Managers Index declined last month as well, and sales rose at the slowest place since June. They did grow a little, but slower and slower. There's not much data for anybody to hang on to out this week. Thursday and Friday we do have some consumer price data, and they might be a factor for the ECB's thoughts in December, but that's still some way off. And both the BOE's Carney and the ECB's Draghi are both speaking midweek, so we'll see something there maybe. Expect more really erratic behaviour as the markets seek in direction, grab at any straw that happens to come along.
What are we expecting in the European small cap world this week?
Well, at the moment we have 2 IPOs scheduled on the Euronext Alternext this week. One in Amsterdam and a very large one in Paris, and more about those later in the week. Another IPO has been cancelled. It was announced on Saturday that HelloFresh, a German-based meal delivery company, which had planned to bring itself to the stock exchange in the near future, had put its plans on ice, quoting concerns about investor demand and valuation and general market volatility. It has now said it probably will put its plans back to 2016. So this is sort of mixed message again on the IPO front.
What else are you looking at today, Graham?
Well, today we're looking at a French tech startup, Netatmo, which has been successful in Europe and in the US over the past few years, and most recently has launched its home camera, which it claims gets facial recognition right. Netatmo initially gained fame with its weather station, which is now currently working in some 170 countries in the world. And now it has this camera which can be trained to recognize your family's individual faces. It's a bit Orwellian, this surveillance, but Big Brother stuff, but you have to decide the line between security and privacy, and it can certainly get blurry. The Netatmo welcome aims to keep both intact by getting to know you and your family and identify them individually, and letting you carry on as normal while it keeps a watch out for strangers. It's a $200 only connected camera with built-in face recognition, and it will keep track of who it's seen. It can create alerts if it sees someone it doesn't recognize, or you want to know if someone has come home or gone out of home, and it allows both local and remote monitoring. In a market which has in many cases been crowdfunded, Netatmo has taken large risk and potentially gains large rewards by conceiving, funding and building and shipping its products where it thinks there is an opportunity in the market, rather than waiting for support. What makes Netatmo interesting is it's just raised 30 million euros, led by an industrial company, electric installation leaders, Legrand, a company which offers a huge range of products and solutions tailored to both commercial, industrial and, in this case, more interestingly, residential markets. Legrand, a Euronext quoted company, provides a host of solutions designed to manage lighting, energy and networks and building access. The Legrand catalogue features some 215,000 products in 81 product families. But what is interesting is it's been setting itself up for an entrance into the connected home this past year. So this investment makes sense in allowing it to expand its connected home products to a bigger audience. Along with fellow industrial player Somfy, Legrand was one of the first companies to partner with Nest Works With platform and making products of the Legrand ecosystem compatible with Nest. and also now with partnered with La Poste, the French Post Office, Connected Home Initiative, saying that interoperability is their core strategy. So it will be worth watching for Netatmo's next product set, and if the owners decide to bring it to market or Legrand decides to absorb it. That's all for today from Graham Brown for Small Cap Nation Europe.
If you are single, chances are you know the app, Tinder. Now the owners responsible for millions of hookups are taking that success to Wall Street. A big IPO in the works when Small Cap Nation comes right back.
Everyone works hard for a reason. Working together, we can help you prepare financially for when 2 becomes 3. Wells Fargo. Together we'll go far.
You want to be the best investor you can be. You want to cut through the noise of an overwhelming amount of analysis. You want the insights that will help you decide which ideas to execute and which to leave behind. You want your trades executed in 1 second or less, guaranteed and routed with institutional quality technology. Look no further. Open an account and find more of the expertise you need to be a better investor.
When I got the phone call that we had received the grant, I held my breath.
To have a program like this is a big reward.
Being a Chase Mission Main Street grant recipient is a game changer.
One of the biggest surprises in starting a small business is the number of hours we should work for the first 20 years.
One of the great things about this grant is that it is going to let us invest in some additional inventories.
It's going to allow this business to go to the next level.
Being a recipient of this grant, we can't be thankful enough.
It's a dream come true, and I'm still in awe.
Matches are important in biotech, but in the technology sector, not all the tie-ups are made in heaven. Online dating may be booming, but how hot will Match Group's IPO be?
The owner of Tinder, OkCupid, and Match.com hope to raise up to $536.7 million in its IPO. The Dallas, Texas-based company says it will sell 33.3 million shares of its common stock at $12 to $14 a share. Now, the underwriters will have a 30-day option to buy an additional 5 million shares at the IPO price. Match Group is a wholly owned subsidiary of IAC, and at the high end of its price range, Match would be worth more than $3.4 billion, and IAC is currently valued at just over $5 billion. Meanwhile, IAC Interactive Corp made the announcement that it launched a roadshow for its IPO. Match Group says it currently intends to use all of the net proceeds to repay related party debt owed to IAC.
This IPO is a long anticipated one. What did the details from the filing show?
Well, Match announced plans to go public in June of this year. The company will list on the NASDAQ under ticker symbol MTCH. There will be 3 classes of stock: common stock, Class B, and Class C common stock. Now, common shareholders will be entitled to 1 vote per share, and Class B shareholders will get 10 votes per share. Meanwhile, Class C shareholders cannot vote. And IAC Interactive Corp would retain control of more than 98% of voting rights after the IPO under its ownership of Class B shares.
Match also owns other brands. What's the outlook for the group ahead of its IPO?
Well, that's a great question. It's a booming market out there for dating sites. The company has 59 million active users, and Match reported revenue of $888.3 million last year, which improved by 11% from the previous year. Recently, Match Group's Tinder announced a huge change to its algorithm to help increase matches. Now, the service is making money with its paid service Tinder Plus, taking up the biggest slice of the profit pie. In addition, its ad business could increase revenue. As part of its digital push, Tinder released a video ad with Budweiser this year. The ad combined the swipe function so that users could swipe left and right on the video spot for Bud Light's Whatever USA campaign. Now, it does reflect the digital strategies of both companies. But Match also owns other non-dating brands, so it's not just about the heart, but also the mind. Match owns and runs the educational service, the Princeton Review. In the first half of this year alone, non-dating revenue was $50.8 million, almost the same amount as what it generated in all of last year. And sure, that's only a tiny fraction of Match Group's overall revenue, which was $483.8 million in the first 6 months of this year. Now, the company says it can expand the portfolio of assets and leverage competencies beyond dating.
Straight ahead, our daily buy, sell, or hold segment. Hear from our experts on this Monday, November 9th, when Small Cap Nation returns.
Guys, I got the jerseys. El Nino. Aquí. Spray Dan. Oh, yeah. Don Ovan.
Think that's me?
You guy. It's $40. Can you cover that?
I'll send it to you right now. Done.
Okay, got it. So hat-trick Rick, he's the best player on our team. You get the ball, you give it to him.
Great. Rick.
On your phone, online, on the go, Wells Fargo makes it easy to get banking done.
All right, Don, you're on. Nope, just kidding.
Doug, you've been staring at that for a while, huh? Listen, TD Ameritrade has former floor traders to help walk you through that complex trade, so you'll be confident enough to do what you want. I'll pull up your number. Blammo. Let's get those guys on the horn. Ooh. Looks like it is time to upgrade your phone, Douglas.
For all the confidence you need, TD Ameritrade. You got this.
Let's go, Serena. Fight, fight. Come on, fight. Can't stop me now. Come on, Serena. Can't stop me now. You don't want me. You can't mess with this. Back to the top. Here we go.
4, 5, 6. Whoa, stop. Let's go back. 1, 2. Whoa, we're gonna stop there. I bet we can do it even better.
It took tennis legend Serena Williams, fencing champion Tim Morehouse, and the world-famous Rockettes years to master their craft. But it took them only moments to master paying bills at Chase.com, depositing checks at Chase ATMs, and transferring funds on the mobile app. Technology designed for you, so you can easily master the way you bank.
Well, it's time to check our buy, sell, hold action for today. CPI card rated new buy at Goldman Heritage. Oaks Bancorp cut to market perform at Raymond James. Vascular Biogenics rated new overweight at Piper Jaffray. ZS Pharma cut to neutral at JP Morgan. Well, thanks for joining us for Small Cap Nation today. We'll see you right back here tomorrow. Until then, check back for the latest news and research on smallcapnation.com, Facebook, and Twitter.